Hello everyone, I'm Matthew Allen and welcome back to Whatta. Guys, I enjoy when I build myself such just a hole. The world's greatest little hole. And by that I just mean that my channel is built in such a way where it's like I can't tell anyone certain things about it until like way later. And by that point I don't care enough to like remember it. And that was something that was in my head because I just did something great, right? While making a video. I was like, this is fantastic, this is so cool, I can't wait to tell everyone. And then I was like, I cannot tell a single soul about it. And that's okay. That's just the nature of the beast. I hope everyone's having a great day. I realize I don't ask people that. I hope your weeks are good. You know, I hope they're nice. I hope you're enjoying Twilight. I'm kind of excited to finish that. I've got so many, like, possibilities of things that I could read. Like, there's just so many books that I've been thinking about recently, and I kind of want to read them all. You know, obviously some of the bigger contenders that have been coming up are I have a copy of Dracula, and I've never read Dracula, Bram Stoker's Dracula. And it's the really nice Barnes & Noble edition, so no one will be able to see how pretty this book is, but it's gorgeous. Okay, it's got the like gold-edged pages, like it's a copy of the Bible. I love it. And that one has been up in contention for a while as one of the things that I might read. I've also got The Hunger Games. I'd have to go grab that. I have a copy of that. But that's something else that I've been thinking about reading. There's a bunch of books on my bookshelf back home that I've thought about. Maybe these are the ones that I want to get to, but then I'm like, I don't know yet, so it's a whole thing. But there's just so many. There was another one that was cropping through my head. Oh, I might continue with Percy Jackson. I might continue with Harry Potter. I don't know too much about Harry Potter yet, but then again, I've only ever read the first 2 books personally. I've never read beyond that because brain doesn't work like that. I have to read it to people, and that's the whole point of What a Book, in case you didn't know. It's to help me get through books that I've been wanting to get through, or books that I think people will enjoy. But yeah, so I might get through some more of those. So who knows? Only time will tell. I've got not all of the time in the world. I have all of the time until I die. Not to sound morbid, but I've got plenty of time to try and get through as many of those books that I've just been really wanting to. You know, the Percy Jackson series is really expanded out, and there's lots of stuff in that universe, so I might read beyond the original 5 books, because I think I own the first Heroes of Olympus one, but that's about all I know. Oh, no, I own the first 2, I think, because that's the one with the Roman gods. Sorry, my cuticle is being annoying. I don't like it. But today's the day. Today is the day where I talk about, you guessed it, Perfect Dark. No, I'm kidding. I talk about Barbie and Oppenheimer. I'm not going to give some like in-depth review, like I'm not going to go beat by beat. I'm just going to talk about both of them. Some of the things I liked, some of the things I didn't like. Ironically, I think most of the things I didn't like comes from moments in Barbie, more so than in moments in Oppenheimer, which I think is really fascinating. But I'm going to start with Oppenheimer because that was the first one I watched. Oppenheimer, directed by Christopher Nolan, released in the released same day as Barbie here in 2023, which is so funny. I saw Oppenheimer, and obviously I had the base knowledge about the man from history, but none of the specifics. And this film, which clicked in my head as I sat there watching it, is the first time I've gotten to see a Christopher Nolan film in theaters, because I was way too young to have seen Batman Begins, because that's, what, 05, I would have been 4. And then, obviously, that means I did not see any of the 2 sequels to those films. Memento is before my time, as is The Prestige. You know, well, when did The Prestige come out? I might have just been a youngin'. Oh, The Prestige is 06? Sorry, I was 5 years old. Why did I think that was... Why? I'm sorry. Are you telling me that he did Batman Begins and then The Prestige? Not what I was expecting. The Christopher Nolan filmography is not long, but it is really extensive. It's real nice. You want to tell me when Memento came out? 2000. Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. But all the other ones that I have seen, I've just seen on my own. Like, I've seen at home with nice speakers, so, like, it's fun. So, like, I saw Tenet at home. I haven't seen Inception yet. No one give me shit about that. I'll get to that eventually. I know it's fantastic. I watched Memento at home. I think I had that on DVD. Did I watch Dunkirk? I did watch Dunkirk, but I sometimes confuse it with that other one. Haven't seen Interstellar. And then Oppenheimer. Sorry. Oppenheimer is the first one that I've seen of first Christopher Nolan film I've seen, there I go, in theaters. And what an experience that was. The cinematography was beautiful. I enjoyed going back and forth between the black and white and color, which really sold two very different like aspects of this tale that we were learning about, and I think that's fantastic. I think Cillian Murphy killed it. I think everyone in the cast killed it. It's such a stacked cast. There's a really funny audio message that I left my friend because they saw Oppenheimer before I did, and I was telling them about all of the insanity that was my brain, like, because I just hold movie info in there, so seeing all of these actors that I just instantly recognized really threw me for a loop. Like, I was really caught off guard by it. Because I was like, okay, yeah, I know Robert Downey Jr. is in this. I was like, I know Matt Damon's in it. Cillian Murphy. I know that, what's her face? I just blanked on her name. I'm trying not to say Yelena Belovich, but what is her? Florence Pugh. There we go. Florence Pugh, Emily Blunt. I knew those members of the cast were in it. I was not expecting to see all of the other people that I saw, like Kenneth Branagh. That really threw me off. David Krumholtz. I was like, what are you doing here? I was like, were you in this movie and we knew this? Matthias Schweighöfer. I know I probably butchered his name, but I was like, wow, you're here? I was like, what are you doing in this movie? Josh Hartnett? Okay. Alex Wolff? What? It kept going. It just kept going. Dylan Arnold was in this film. I was like, wow. Why? Josh Peck, Matthew Modine, David Dastmalchian, Robbie Malek, Rami, not Robbie. I don't know why I said Robbie. Dan DeHaan, Casey Affleck, that was Josh Quaid. Jack Quaid. It's because he's next to Josh Peck in this little image set that I'm looking at. Benny Safdie. There's even a Skarsgård in this movie. Like, it just kept going. There's just a sea of people. And yet somehow, even with all of this mass quantities of famous people that are 100% playing at most glorified cameos and or extras at times, which is insane to be able to be Christopher Nolan and just have famous people be background characters. Insane to me. But even with all of these people that were blowing my mind at seeing them, every single one of them added in such beautiful, like, nuance with their characters, their presentation, the moments that they appeared, that I was enamored, you know? I was enamored. Like, I wasn't just seeing one of the Safdie brothers. I was seeing Teller. Edward Teller. Hydrogen bomb, man. Like, I was seeing him. I was so enthralled in this tale that was being told, this presentation of the life of a man that history has, I don't know what history has done with Oppenheimer at this point. I don't know if we've vilified him. I don't know if we've carried him as a saint. Maybe we've done both. Maybe we've done neither. But I got to see his tale get told, and it was masterful. I loved it. I spoke to some friends that talked about how they went like hours away to go to like an IMAX theater, like those like massive like 6-story screens, like, and I was like, I'm jealous that you could do that. But just seeing it in the setting I saw it in, which That theater was packed. The theaters for both showings that I saw were atrociously packed, and it made me feel great about going to the movies again. Not to sound like that ad. Not to sound like that ad for AMC. I just clinked my tooth and I hated that. I was trying to drink water. But just being in the theater, like sharing this moment with all those people. The audio mix, I guess finally getting to get a Christopher Nolan audio mix in the theater really did help, because oftentimes his audio mix is like atrocious for home. Because I don't think he remixes it. He doesn't do like a remix for home settings, and that makes it so that everyone is really quiet, and then all of the background sounds are atrociously loud. So getting to see this movie in like the setting it was meant for in the theater was just so amazing. It was fantastic. Sorry, I'm just sort of gushing over it. As a film nerd, getting to have this experience, this moment was just, I loved it. I love Cillian Murphy as an actor. I wish we got more Scarecrow after Batman Begins. I wish we got more thrillers like Red Eye, but only the section when it's on the plane, and maybe the cat and mouse moment at the end, but some of the in-between is kind of a no for me. If you've never seen Red Eye, tight thriller, really tense. I think it's great. But yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was amazing. I'd love to own it on DVD, in like Blu-ray or 4K or something just masterful, because I know nothing is going to recreate that experience in the theater. That moment when the bomb drops at the test site, like, there was the pause, because I kind of forget about the delay. I forget about how light is traveling faster, and so it's this beautiful visual of the explosion. It goes up, and there's silence. There's nothing. And then suddenly you get hit with the as the sound just blasts across. And you feel it. And it was amazing. I'm almost in tears talking about this movie. God. Moments like that remind me why I so desperately aim to be a film writer. To be able to create that magic. I don't want to be a director. I will direct if I need to, but to write and create something as masterful as this. Oh boy. So that was Oppenheimer. I don't think I had any issues with that movie. I was there for it. I was in it. I was in it for the win. Plus it was telling history. So it wasn't much that I, like, unless I go read the books, read some history books, I don't have the knowledge base to be like, oh, that was wrong, or like, how could they represent this like this, or something like that, Just so good. Barbie. Greta Gerwig's Barbie. I don't think I know other Greta Gerwig movies. Maybe I do. I will have to go to IMDb. I hope we're all on board for me having to go to IMDb real quick so I can see her credits as a director. Lady Bird. Okay. I saw Lady Bird. I did see that one. Okay, so I know that one. I didn't see the Little Woman movie that she did. And then I saw Barbie. What has she written? That adaptation of Little Women, Lady Bird. She's a writer on China, Illinois. And then other stuff. Okay. Yeah. I know she's an actress. She's done acting. She was in Isle of Dogs. I didn't know that. I'm glad we could all witness the moment where I am caught off guard at seeing Isle of Dogs in her filmography. I think that's really funny. But yeah. So, like, I watched Barbie. It's a fun time. I think we all know this. It's a fun little movie. Ryan Gosling as Ken, and spoiler alert, accidental villain by accidentally bringing back just patriarchy, is so fascinating to me. There's a very interesting tale being presented within the Barbie movie on both sides of the boat. And it is for the women, for the Barbies, having this realization that all of the things that they thought they were doing and the way they thought they were helping the women of the real world, when in reality they're not. And learning that knowledge and coming to this realization that everything is perfect for them because life is fantastic when it's plastic, doesn't apply the way that they thought it did. And also having this realization for the Kens that out in the real world, men kind of rule everything. And sometimes that's okay, but when it's done incorrectly, when it's done into the patriarchal way that Ken brought back to Barbie Land, it's not good. It's bad for everyone, not just for women, but for everyone that's there. You saw that through Alan. Alan hated everything that was happening with the way that the Kens were running Barbie Land. This is another one that has such a fascinatingly stacked cast. I really enjoyed everyone that was in it, but I kind of just enjoyed having this like casual reunion of three members of Sex Education, because Connor Swindles, who plays Aaron Dinkins, he's a person that works in the Mattel company, was in here, but so was Emma Mackey as one of the Barbies and Nkuti Gatwa as Ken. I was like, oh, this is fun. John Cena was there as a Ken. He popped up later. It was kind of funny. Ryan Gosling, Simu Liu. Kingsley Ben-Adir, which was really goofy because I had just started Secret Invasion before I watched the Barbie movie, and that show is questionable. It's bad. So seeing him here was very fascinating. Kate McKinnon, Issa Rae, which I don't know why my brain cells could not recognize Issa Rae at all. Like, I just could not do it. But I had seen her before. I couldn't tell you in what. I'm going to have to go look real quick. I didn't recognize her voice either, because she's Jessica Drew over in Across the Spider-Verse. Just somehow could not put that together. But anyways, like, just the movie's a lot of fun. It's got a nice little message that it's trying to tell about what it's like to be a woman, but also like the struggles that come along with that. I'm looking at a person and I can't tell if that's the lady from, yes, it is, The Umbrella Academy, plays Lila. And I thought the movie did a very good job at blending some of its humor with some of its seriousness. I think America Ferrera was having a kick-ass time of being Gloria, being that mother of Ariana Greenblatt's character Sasha, that causes the issues that lead to the stereotypical Barbie that is the Barbie that, what's her name? Margot Robbie plays. Having to go into the real world. And for the most part, I had a fun time with that movie. I thought it was a lot of fun. I wasn't expecting a musical number. I don't know why, but I wasn't expecting the soundtrack to interact with the movie, which is very fascinating. You don't get that outside of a musical, so it's really fun to suddenly get that here. Oh my god, I forgot about Sugar Daddy Ken and Earring Magic Ken. That Ken is so gay. And I know we have the really poignant moment at the end of the movie where we get the montage with that song sung by, I believe, I just so blanked on the words Billie Eilish for a hot minute. I believe she did that song, right? Do 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 do. I know how to look at songs on the internet. Or maybe they just used a song that she did. I'll go find it later because I greatly enjoyed it. It was a very sweet song, and I think it was very emotionally linked to the montage that was happening. And I thought the movie was wonderful, and it was a good time, and I thought people could enjoy it. They can enjoy it for the goofiness. They can enjoy it for the seriousness. Will Ferrell, again, playing just generic businessman in a world where a fictional toy comes to life, is so funny. Because why did we do it twice? Why did we do it twice? But I think there's exactly one standout moment where the movie undercut itself. And I talked about it with some friends. And it is when Margot Robbie's Barbie is come back to Barbie Land. All the Kens have messed everything up. And she's there with Weird Barbie and a couple of the other discount Barbies and Kens that weren't a part of either creating the patriarchy or getting brainwashed by it. And she's kind of losing her edge. She's kind of falling apart, and she states that she doesn't feel pretty anymore. And she's there and she's crying, and for a doll that's lived the perfect life for forever, like, to suddenly not feel pretty anymore, I was like, this is a very poignant moment, because it kind of shows that when you're not in your bubble, when you're kind of faced with the reality of everything that can happen, it's suddenly everything you knew fell apart, and it doesn't matter who you are, you don't know what to do, you're lost. And I thought that was a really beautiful moment that they undercut by having Helen Mirren, the narrator, who crops up like 3 times total in the whole movie, pop in with the it was a joke, and it's a note to the directors: Margot Robbie is the wrong person to cast for this point. And I feel like that was the moment where the movie kind of lost me, because I feel like they were expanding on this idea that anyone can feel this way. And I thought that was kind of the point of having it be Margot Robbie, is that, yeah, Margot Robbie is beautiful, she's perfect, blah, blah, blah. But in this instance, in this moment, she's lost. She does not know what to do. Everything that she knew, all the stuff that she just sort of, did day by day by day, is gone. And I thought, like, that was a moment we should have sat on, because then it leads into this little moment from America Ferrera's character. And I was just like, I feel like we shouldn't have undercut the idea that anyone from any step or walk of life, the way that sentence is put in there almost makes it seem as though, by Margot Robbie being a naturally beautiful person, even in this moment where she is ugly crying and feels no longer beautiful, that she's not the person to have represent feeling that way. And I was like, I feel weird about that, because it makes it seem as though you can't be just naturally a beautiful person and then lose that feeling, like lose what it's like to be beautiful in your heart, because everything you know is fall apart. And that's not the message we should have sent. And it's somehow in that one joke, it just really skewed some of my feelings I had towards the end of the movie. I still laughed really hard at the sea of Kens on the beach singing "Push" by Matchbox 20 that led into the beach off. Oh my lord. But just that moment sticks out, and it's been sticking out as just something that, like, I was like, like, Mojo Dojo Casa Houses, I loved that. Brewski Beers, like, everything into the patriarchy. Alan just being really Scott Pilgrim-y good at fighting is so funny. all of the moments in the real world where Barbie kind of learns how terrible it is to be a woman, like, those are really important. Those are very necessary. But just that one moment really sticks out as just the moment that I was like, why do we undercut this? But other than that, it's a great film. I can't wait for it to come to DVD so I can watch it with some friends and show it off to more people, because it's just so goofy. Maybe I'll get more people into the Barbenheimer experience, because it was a fun time. I did watch them on the same day, like I said I would. I watched Oppenheimer, then I watched Barbie. I had a nice outfit on for both. It had the nice colors for Barbie, but it had the style and classiness for Oppenheimer, which was the right way to go about it, in my opinion. Although the amount of people I saw dressed up was really funny. I had someone come into where I work not long after I saw the movies, and it was a mother and daughter, and they were both in such pink outfits, and I just went, "Did you guys see Barbie?" And they were like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Yeah, I thought so." So it's really cool that we had this, like, cultural moment. We had these two films, so very different, yet so, like, poignant in the tales that they're telling. I just really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with them. And I hope that whoever's listening, you maybe had the opportunity to see those movies too and enjoy them, or maybe this will be the thing that kind of pushes you. I know I talked about a lot. I spoiled, I think, more for Barbie than I did for Oppenheimer, but Oppenheimer is history and Barbie is fictional, obviously. So take that with a grain of salt. But maybe it's the push you need to go see it. Yeah. I recommend it. If you still have the time to go see them in theaters, I definitely recommend seeing Oppenheimer. I don't know if they're still in theaters at this point, since they came out in July and we are in August. We're almost in September, actually, so they're probably not. I don't know what else is released since then. What, the TMNT movie? I've heard good things. I haven't seen it. But I'm glad I got to have this mode of talking about Barbenheimer. And to really just sort of reminisce on the things that really fuel me when it comes to being a writer, and having these opportunities to create. I love to make. I love doing what I do. I enjoy all the YouTube stuff, and I really hope I can make the career out of it that I want to, because if I do, then I can have more time to write. Working 40 hours a week is good. It keeps the lights on. But if I could really make this work, then I could have that time back that I lose to those 40 hours a week to create, to be artistic, to do all the things I want to do. So yeah. Anyway, I think that's a good stopping point for today. So thank you guys so much for listening to the What a Thought podcast. If you liked it, make sure to leave a like and comment down below. Tell me what the things you're hoping to hear me talk about. I'd love to get some more suggestions for both channels, honestly. I'd love to hear some things people want to hear me talk about. And I'd love to play some games that people want to see. That would be fun. But yeah. Make sure to also check out the other YouTube channels in the Linktree link, The Soloist, which contains its own set of games, as well as all old streams from the Twitch. You can find both of those in the Linktree link, as well as all my social media. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. They're all kind of varied in their titling. One is capital T, the capital S Soloist, 14, the numbers 14. One is capital T, the underscore capital S Soloist underscore 2014, the full year. And the other one I think might just be capital T, the capital S Soloist 2014, but without the underscores. And it's just so fascinating. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. Tune back in next week for Twilight. But until then, I've been Matthew Allen. This has been What a Thought, and I will see all of you next week.